I can swim. Just can't walk or dress myself. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Salute, 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 and welcome back to the Black Ocean. Now swinging deep in with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very important broadcast we're going to be covering over here tonight, because when we use the term tether, okay, and you know I'm one of the people, I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm one of the people that like to use the term intelligently and make a distinction between the continental African and Caribbean brothers that do not fit into the tether class, okay? Because you have a lot of people that will use the term ignorantly, and a lot of people will feign ignorance of what a tether is. And in the beginnings of this broadcast, we're going to make it clear what a tether is tonight. We're going to make it clear that it's not something that you ignore, especially when these people are in positions of political power or they're in the medical field. At that point, it is not just about, okay, a difference of ideology. It's not about them being book dancing sambos and kissing white ass. No, at this point, when you start affecting people's lives, that's a different matter altogether in our country, because we can't go over to their nations and do that. And what I'm going to show you here tonight, for those of you brothers and sisters that are continental Africans and Caribbeans that don't fit into the tether class, there might be some people in good faith that don't know what we mean when we say that. Or we're going to make it clear in the beginning of this broadcast who we talking about. So if this isn't you, we're not talking about you. Now, if you recognize during the defining portion of the broadcast of what a tether is, and you say, hey, that's me, well, then hit dogs shall holler. Over here, we make them yell until their eardrums bleed. It is what it is, okay? This is not the sugarcoating channel. For those that are new, and welcome to all the new subscribers over here, by the way, and welcome to the new Patreon subscribers. Welcome to all of you. You will find that my platform has a diverse background. If you go through my archives, and I cover many different topics from other angles that some people may not think to go into. And speaking of that, I just recently saw something, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to warn the sisters in our community about this. So there's a broadcast that I'm probably gonna put together. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna do it on my main channel. Because, like, I've already covered some of it on Patreon. If you all have been, you know, if you're members of my Patreon, you saw exactly the detail I went into. And I followed up and put like a short, video up reminding you of the dangers. But there's some other things that have come to my attention that I like, yeah, this needs to be highlighted. Because I'm like this. I don't care if you hate my guts. I don't care if you agree with me, disagree with me. I want you safe in our community. Brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying? And look, some of you sisters, you got heads like bricks. I don't care about that. I just want you to be safe, okay? Look, I'm going to tell you like this. If you can't stand me, oh, I don't like the way he talk. He say this, he say that. Cool. I'd rather you be safe and healthy so you can argue with me about that, okay? If you choose to argue. Because, you're going to be arguing about yourself. I don't really argue with women. But you get what I'm saying, okay? So be looking out for a very important broadcast. Like I said, I just might, because I got so much content to cover on certain things that I don't really see a lot of people talking about, or I feel like they didn't go as far as they needed to. No disrespect to nobody, but like I said, I'm not somebody that if I see something needs to be done, I complain about it, I get busy and I do it myself, okay? So tonight we're going to be focusing on the medical industry here in America, and I think this is going to shed light on a lot of different things for people that might not have thought of what we're going to be talking about here tonight. But yeah, we definitely gonna have to cover it, okay? So with that said, let me scroll up and let me know if you can hear me loud and clear in the chat room, okay? Because it's come to my attention, and I've seen this on several people's channels. Look, I've said it before. PewTube is gonna play games with people's channels, okay? As far as the shadow banning, notification not going out, because there is a standard, like if you produce more than like 5 videos a day, like, you know what I'm saying, only send out like 5 notifications or what have you. After that, people have to actually come to the channel. But for the channels that don't do that, they playing games with people's broadcasts. I saw they was messing with my good brother Dewan B's broadcast earlier. So look, let me tell you something. Any channel that's putting out relevant information, no matter its size, is going to be messed with. If I came over here and I was the grooving gorilla and came on camera stuffing food in my mouth and being a fucking jackass for any white person I could find, hey man, crystal clear stream 100% of the time. I came on here cooning and buffooning like Candace Owens and the Highest Twins and, some of these other Sambozos. Hey, we wouldn't have no problem. So just know that if you're new over here, look, relevant channels are going to get messed with, all right? You know, or if I come over here and beep, 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 and turn the Boulay Buffet Master Martin here, or as I call him, Port Charlton's Prime Ribs Martin, hey, you wouldn't have no problems. But I digress. Let me greet my esteemed guests over here. I see the sister Kenny T in the building. What's going on, sister? I see Tuesday Woke in the building, Charles Gibson, Emma Johnson. I see V Moss in here, the good sister Mrs. L. I see Casey Malone in here. Let's see. Make sure I'm missing anybody. My lieutenant, Tam Chan, what's going on, sister? Charlie Ace is in the building. My good brother, Mr. Sam, the husband of the sister Mrs. L. I love to see married couples in here. FBA couples taking care of business. I see Mac Maroon in here. Tanisha Murdoch is in here. ATL _ 007 is in here. My good brother Ben Yu in the building. Diesel Mike in the building. Josh Norris, I see you, young man. My good brother Dad Miller TV. Let's see, Priscilla Taylor is in here. And I think that's everybody. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody out. That's everybody I see so far. So salute and welcome to all of you. And anybody else that'll be joining us in attendance here tonight. So everybody can hear me loud and clear, yeah? Everybody hear me loud and clear. my brother Dad Miller TV that said all I need is some rainbow on like rolling. Oh man, Lord, no, yeah, hey, you know Roland, boy, he likes his interesting iPad hobbies there. Yeah, we saw you, Boulay. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if he was at some of the Diddler parties. He might have been. Ain't no telling, man. Hey, cause you, boy, if you've been keeping up with the stuff with the Diddler trial, man, boy, that there is some interesting things going on with that there, boy. That's, you know, look, I've covered it as many times, you know what I'm saying, as I need to until like, cause like really, I got one more broadcast coming up that's going to be covering something over here on the channel if you saw in the live tab. And I thought that was very relevant to my audience in case any of you haven't seen it. Some things I want to go over in a particular interview that was done recently on the Piers Morgan channel. But after that, I'm just going to wait until the rest of these 7 weeks up because we going to see. I'll tell you this, though, like I covered on Patreon, there's lessons to be learned from men and women in this trial, okay? And I hope my community gets a lesson. But, you know, unfortunately, you're going to have some people due to celebrity worship and many things, they won't get the lessons necessary. And, hey, hard head makes soft ass is all I can say. But tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about very important subject matter over here. And before we get into that, I would like to inform those of you in the Atlanta, Georgia area that you can check out my good brother, Raheem Shabazz, documentary film producer and author. He's going to be at Nubian Bookstore. So I'm going to bring you all up to speed on that. Then we're going to get started here.
Raheem Shabazz, and I'm going to be at Nubian Bookstore in Morrow, Georgia. Join me for an unforgettable book signing and meet and greet. It's your chance to grab your signed copy, snap a photo, and share some great conversations. This Saturday, May 29th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., Nubian Bookstore. I can't wait to meet you there.
Very, 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 very good information that brother has been putting out for years. If you have not seen his documentary film series, Elementary Genocide, that is essential for any black parents that care about your child's education. There's 3 of them. And again, like I said, I got to find out if Brother Rod's going to have them at his book signing. But definitely, even look, if you go and he doesn't have them, ask him about it. That is must-see documentary material, okay? I mean, like I said, if those of you who have seen it, you know why I'm saying that. Very important information that will help black parents out if you're going to have your children in this American public food system, as I call it, okay? A lot of good information that you need to know. And I also recommend, because I have it, and I have a practice of never recommending something that I don't have myself. His book, Radical Hope in the 21st Century, I've finished reading it. Excellent read. That should be on every black shelf. And, you know, I told Brother Rod personally, I said, hey, man, I hope that you make time if your schedule allows it to go on speaking tours at college campuses with the material in that book. It is just that relevant and necessary. I'm telling you, don't take my word for it. Get a copy of the book and read it for yourself. Like I said, if you just open up the table of contents and the chapters in there, what the brother's speaking on, listen, man, powerful information for those that choose to learn. Now, if you're a Zeus Network zombie, never mind. Don't even worry about it. It ain't gonna do you a bit of good if you one of them people. Okay. So if you a Zeus Network zombie, disregard every damn thing I said. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do something real quick here. So, the onset, I'm going to play exactly what the definition of tether is. I'm going to let a series of clips run here. And I'm not going to even give me commentary. I'm just going to let you see the clips. And then when they're done, nobody's going to be in doubt of what we mean when we say a tether, okay? Nobody's going to be in doubt. So everything that I'm about to show you, this is going to define what a tether is if you're one of those people who actually ask that question in good faith, because there are some that do ask it and they know exactly what we're talking about. But if you happen to be over here and you're confused about why we use that term and who we're talking about, and we're, you know, as far as like making a distinction, this is going to help you out. So we're going to get started with this, and then we're going to get started with the main topic here, why that's such a dangerous thing when these tethers are in certain positions. So let it go. Let it continue here.
One thing and one thing only that African people care about, including me myself. I come to your country. I don't care where it is. I am here to make money. That's just the sad reality. But it is the reality. Me as myself, when I went to Nairobi, when I lived in Kenya, I went to take. When I went to South Africa, I went to take. When I went to Dubai, I went to take. I did not go to build the countries. Because in my country where I come from, I am poor, and I left my country because there is nothing for me to do. I didn't see any ways of getting rich in my country, so I decided to come to other countries to do something for myself. So, unfortunately, I can't tell my African American brothers and sisters that when African people come to America, expect them to build with you. No, we're here to take. We are here to take. The American government, like right now, it's welcoming immigrants like nobody's business. Every African person who is in a dire situation or who sees there's an opportunity for me to get a green card, they will do whatever it takes to come to America, knowing very well that the government right now is prioritizing foreigners instead of its own people, which is not my fault. My own business is to come there and grab whatever I can. And if your government is supporting me to take as much as I can, who am I to refuse? Who doesn't want to live in America? So don't be surprised when you see these African men or African women get with older men or older women just to get the green card. That is what we do because we are in a dire situation in our countries. So we are running away to come to your country so we can have a better life because, I mean, who does not know about the American dream? And then if we come and then Joe Biden pampers us, and forgets that he has Democrats to take care of, it's none of our business. That's the reality. That's the reality. When we come there, don't expect us to build. Build America for who? You have a lot we are here to take. That's the truth. And I know I might sound arrogant, but I'm not a person who sugarcoats the truth. So when we come to your countries, just know we are not here to have mercy on you. We are here to take.
Imagine we take away the stigma of the word nigger, right? We take away the N-word. We give everyone a pass. What's the issue now? Because this issue of the N-word itself and these bad words, I'm like, bro, how old are you, 12? Like, why does it matter so much they use a word? Okay, use a word you don't like. Cool. Move on. Like, we got war happening, shit's going on. That's way more important than a fucking word. Like, to me, it's like, anyhow, I just think it's stupid because that's a word that she used against him and he got mad at it. Like, why do you get mad? It's just a word. But again, people's emotions and feelings get involved and then they get mad.
Yeah.
The word itself isn't even offensive because you let a word have power over your emotions.
Yeah.
That means to me you're weak. But also,
especially when they did some fuck shit.
Yeah.
It's not like she just walked up to him like, nigger. No, it's like, bro, your kid did some foul shit. Go talk to your kid, nigga. The fuck, man?
Yeah, so I mean,
you see, this is why we think some of you FBAs need mental assistance, right? Because she says the land is rich, the people are poor due to mindset. You are in the majority and you still lose, yet you all come here, benefit from the rights we fought for as the minority, yet call us lazy. Ma'am, what right? What right? Rights to Section 8 housing? Rights to food stamps? What right? What right? You know how many white people died for those rights? You know how many natives died for those rights? How many Mexicans fought and died for those rights? What rights? You think you're the ones that fought? Do you know how many of my ancestors, African ancestors, fought and died for those rights? See, the difference between African fight and yours is the Africans fought to gain independence from the white man. We fought to kick them out. You black Americans fought to stay with them. You went from slaves to pets. That is why right now, the only place they can send you to is jail. Yeah. Talking about rights and shit. Go tell Pookie he has the right to pull his pants up. Go tell Pookie he has the right to stay in school. Tell your ladies they have the right to dress decently, talking about rights and shit. Dogs have more rights in America than black Americans. Dogs have more rights. I seen that shit.
Yeah, so I'm gonna interject right here. I know, family. I know y'all like, brother. Oh, brother. Because, see, we got to make it plain on what a tether is, okay? We got to make it plain. Or at least I feel I should do it on my platform. It's been a while since I've made it clear. And sometimes you do need to reiterate things for the edification of the public. And I have no problem doing that. So now, let me go ahead and say this first and foremost before I comment on what you've seen so far, because we're not done yet. We're going to make sure tether is well defined before we get into why this is such a problem when they get into certain positions over here in our country. Now, for my own code, non-FBA brothers and sisters, okay? I don't think there's any of you in here, men or women alike, okay? Because I have non-FBA brothers and sisters over here that route with all my platforms, solid people, men and women that I know, some I know personally. Now, is there anybody here that would think that we wouldn't have a problem with that type of nonsense that I just played for y'all, okay, so far in this broadcast? See, that's disrespectful, all right? I told people for years, even amongst our own lineage, one of the key linchpins to any type of social interaction, relationship, whatever, is respect. That is the foundation of any type of interaction between humanity, all right? When you subtract the respect, then, hey, you don't have anything that you can build upon that's positive. There's not going to be any trust. There's not going to be any mutual compassion. It's like, okay, you over there, I'm over here. And if you cross lines too tough with your disrespect, shit gonna get ugly. That's just the natural order of things, okay? You start disrespecting people, especially in their home, okay, because this is our home country. Now, that's where your issues, your problems come in at. Now, some people have higher tolerance levels for disrespect than others. I'm going to tell you something about myself that my uncle had said about me from the time I was young, okay? I try to be peaceful. I go out my way to extend the hand of peace to any and everybody. Try to be respectful, okay? But when it comes to my temper, you got some people that have a short fuse, a long fuse. My uncle said, I don't have a fuse. Don't fuck around with me and do something that you know that's disrespectful, because it's going to be an immediate consequence. It's going to be, now it can be legal or it can be otherwise. I'm prepared to deal with both. But just speaking about myself, because there are people that have different tolerance levels for disrespect. I don't play the radio about that, man, because I go out my way to be a respectful person, all right, no matter who I'm dealing with. And then, I try to disengage from things that, if I see it's going to become disrespectful, all right, you know what, let me just back out, let that alone, okay? Because I know where I'm going to go if it go to certain places. Now, with that stuff you just seen here with these tethers running off at the mouth, let's work backwards. The little goofball here with them chopped ass lips, talking about all the white people who fought and all these other folks that fought for their right to come here. No, sir, see, that goes to show you that when you speak out of ignorance, you make yourself look like the ultimate buffoon. Then on top of that, you fled from your country, or just as shameful if you're going to be disrespectful, if your ass is an anchor baby of people that fled from their country. You don't talk like that. You don't have a pot to piss in or window to throw it out of. And as far as like who don't have rights in this country, let me talk to the tether class for a minute. And I say tether class because I'm going to be very specific in my language and terminology over tonight. If you are one of these white ass kissing tethers that's over here, they respect you far less than they respect us. You know why? Because they know you won't stand for nothing. They know that they can spit in your face, literally put hands on you, and you won't say nothing about it. That's why they say you different. Salute to the good sister Sakina Collins for the cash out. Oh, we finna cook over here tonight. That's why they say you different and you not like them. It's an insult to your face. A lot of them really still hadn't caught on to that yet. You better look at and compare and contrast the difference between my lineage and yours on our home soil. I don't care which region of the country it is. When them folks get out of line with us, they know, hey, hands and feet get flying in a second. Sometimes it can go beyond that depending on what you do. Okay? Shout out to our good brother Rodney Henn Jr., okay? You damn right. I told you, I'm standing by that brother, man. I don't care which way it go. When you start harming people's children, that is an open declaration of war. I've said that for years. I make no bones about that. That's the same anywhere on this planet that you go. Our people are no different. When you have a situation where if you compare FBA people here at home to a lot of that tether class, notice I keep saying class, that comes over here, like the Candace Owens or what have you, and the only thing you do think to do your existence live for is to find white ass to kiss, them people don't respect you, and nor do they trust you, because they're like, okay, if you would turn on, even though those people are not of your lineage, but they look like you, if you would turn on people that would be considered black here in this country, notice I'm going by what the country say, what the law is, they are classified as black, even though they're not of our lineage, the law says they're classified as black. So there's no need to argue that for anybody listening. You know, you have some people start arguing. Here's the thing. They look at you and be like, okay, if they can't trust you, we damn sure can't trust you. We'll use you, but we can't trust you. But see, for Mr. Ashimau, see, here's the thing. You would almost have a leg to stand on if the homelands that you come from when you talk like that, if primarily, because I'm one of the few people that make this distinction clearly, if primarily the men who are the natural builder and protector class of every society on the planet, if the men have built their shit up and you come from these wonderful paradises where y'all got running water, electricity, you ain't shitting in the streets, nobody preying on children, the women are safe, everybody's, you could, now then you would say, hey man, you FBA niggas, y'all been going through this shit for centuries, man, let me show you how to do this. Which of you can do that? I'm going to take it a step further because, see, I'm going to show you how you shut that bullshit down when you deal with a tether. Here's what I hit them with. I let them get all that shit out. I'm like, okay, you done? All right, now here's the question I got to ask you. Now that you over here, that you fled from your country or you got anchor babied over here, when's the last time you, the men, have gotten together in groups from all walks of life that you say you just kicking ass and taking names in? From your doctors to your lawyers to your people in like the technology field, economists, nurses, whatever you name it. When's the last time y'all got together and said, you know what? We're from the same place or about the same region. Let's pool our resources, our knowledge, and go back over here and build up something in our homeland so that the people over there will have some opportunities. See, you need to understand something. One of the main core definitions of manhood, and this is what a lot of you tether class males, I don't say men, because that's an earned honorable title, just like women. You tether class males don't seem to understand that the job of a man is to create opportunities for their people. So you want to talk all this big boss shit and you so smart. I can't tell if you're not creating opportunities for your people. Think about it, family. Let's just make it make sense. If I'm so smart, I work so much harder than you, why is it that opportunities aren't just springing up everywhere the fuck you go? If you really that talented, if you really that smart, everywhere you walk, there should be opportunities just popping up. Instead, and here's where I'm going to thread a needle, the woman that I showed you in the beginning, yes, I know she held them underarms up, not a sight of deodorant in sight, okay? Half fucked up to be damn and have the audacity to get on camera and chastise my people. First of all, appearance matters. If you're going to talk that shit, fix your shit up before you get on camera looking dusty to be damn. But see, let me tell you why I don't really fault her. One of the things that I say, and I stand on this, the women get a majority of their confidence and courage from the men in the society. When you got women talking about fleeing like that with that much pride, the first teaches your children talking like that, that means that the men in whatever country she from, the greater majority she around, they ain't worth two dead flies put together. You goddamn right. I said it. Oh, we gonna make it make sense over here tonight. Yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are. You understand? That is a shameful thing when you got large numbers of your women hauling ass. Or worse yet, if they don't haul ass, all you tethers gonna feel this one. If they don't haul ass, a 70-year-old wrinkled up white man that ain't shit over here can hop over to your nations and get the finest of your women in their early 20s, etc. Not only that, the Asians are like, hell, I'm close to white. I can do it too. Oh, yeah, we going here. You want to come over here and talk that shit? We going to talk facts. See, let me be honest with y'all about something. I've covered a lot of things over the years, and being that I've traveled to many places, I can speak on things from firsthand knowledge, not what somebody told me or what I read in a book. I really tried to keep the kid gloves on about showing some of the stuff that I could show you. And I'm talking about, now I ain't talking about just in the continent of Africa or in some Caribbean nations. I can get on the Indians, the East Indians. I can get on the Arabs. I could put together a broadcast that would shut they shit the fuck down from now on. But I try not to punch down. I don't like to do that, man. I didn't come from a family where I was taught to punch down to people. Look, if I punch at you, you had to punch at me first, okay? Now, when you start swinging at my lineage, you ungrateful bastards, hey, man, we got to take them kid gloves off. And I'm trying not to do that because, man, look, everything I show you, I won't need to edit nothing. If I was to do that type of broadcast, I wouldn't need to make up nothing. You would be like, you know what? I saw this brother's talk about this. He showed me XYZ. Let me go find out for myself. And you'd be like, God damn, it wasn't even, you spared stuff from when you told me about that. See, I've been trying not to do that, man. I'm telling you, I ain't even really done it on Patreon like I'm supposed to. Man, I know where all they damn bones are buried. Do not bring your ass over here and talk like that about my people. Let me find out where you from. Oh, player, all right? Especially if I've been there. See, then you get the Myron games. Let's talk about that part that I showed you. I want to make clear what tethers are when we say that for the people that ask in good faith. The Myron games, and you saw the little Kermit the Frog looking. I already told y'all, Myron is the bastard son of Gonzo and several others, Toucan Sam. And, I clearly believe that, his so-called fresh, ain't that ironic? You call yourself fresh and you look like Kermit the Frog's little bastard son. I guess Kermit had a taste for some chocolate. And he decided, to take off on your little ugly ass. Like, God damn, I produced this, but I digress. The reason why little Kermit that they call fresh has such to say talking about the word doesn't mean this, the word doesn't mean that, is because you don't come from our lineage and you don't know our people's history. Let me be clear. I agree. It's not what someone calls you, it's what you answer to. However, if said word or slur is connected to something that brought death to our people, that is a verbal threat. Let me tell you something right now. Even down here in the South in Georgia where I'm at, the Confederate flag waving good old white boys, they know what areas not to come through with them Confederate flags. And they know if you say that word around us down here, it's on and popping. And ain't going to be no conversation with you. We're not going to have no theological debate about what you said it for. The rules are clear. That's one thing I love about my state. The rules are clear on both sides of the line. Everybody know where they stand down here. Any people that are non-FBA, they come down here and find out real quick. See, I'm going to tell you something else about Georgia, too. From north, south, east, west. One thing about the white folks down here that I give them credit for, if they white supremacists, they ain't hiding shit. You ain't moving it. Look, let me tell you something. These tethers know they ain't moving into no white neighborhoods down here. They're like, oh, hell no, boy. I don't give a damn what part of the country you say you from. Where you say you from again? Oh, hell, y'all niggas to me. Get your black ass out from over there. They're going to let you know. Oh, yeah? You think you're moving over here? Shit. One of these stone cold, dyed in the wool rednecks? Oh, man, they swing it loud and proud. They letting you know, you can bring your black ass over here if you want to. This place has been all white for a reason. Let me tell you your little black ass something. We don't even have dark specks and pepper down here, boys. How much we hate black people. Get your ass back over. Care nothing about you think you better than them. All your niggers over here, okay? You're less than a nigger to us, to be honest with you, because you're trying to kiss my ass and I can't stand your ass. Bring a Candace Owens over here if you want to. See, that's what I want. I want Candace Owens and Myron to come up here to my state. Come on up here to my state and talk that shit that you be talking, thinking that you gonna gain some favor with these rednecks here. Boy, look, let me tell you something, dog. I'm gonna give him credit on this. I got to give the rednecks here credit. I got to give, you know what? Let me make sure I encompass this for the South, down here, the Southeast region, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia. You can even throw West Virginia in, but they ain't got shit on Alabama, Mississippi, and Georgia. Oh, they're gonna let you know what time it is, play. Oh, and Kentucky. I can't forget about Kentucky. You talking rednecks from their area, they're like, hey, listen here, player. I don't care about none of that shit. I read Thomas up. Fuck Thomas soul too. I don't want to hear nothing from no damn nigga. I don't care what he's talking about, boy. Listen to Thomas soul. Take that nigga shit out of here, boy. I mean, that's how they I'm telling you. Look, you better understand something. One thing I will give Nick Fuentes credit on, he said what a lot of them been wanting to say for years, okay? The thing is, when you see the Candace Owens and etc. ones on that, you know, they're used to talk shit about black folks because they don't want to see it, they get labeled a racist. They look at that like, hey, man, we should be able to say that. We shouldn't have to have a mouthpiece. See, that's the out of our history where we're at. A lot of the tethers don't know how to, quote the cliche saying, read the historical room, okay? They don't know how to read the historical room. Society has changed from when they were like, okay, we'll just settle for getting a black Sambo, no matter where you're from, and put you up here and let you say the stuff we want to say. They're like, I'm white and I should be able to say so. I don't want to pay you to say it. I want to say it, God damn it. You see us, numbers steady dwindling, meth is out of control, school shooters going on. What the hell, man? Black people are actually being successful. I don't want nobody to say it but me. Why I gotta pay a Jason Shitlock to say it? Huh? I don't want you. Candace Owens, get the hell, Larry Elder. I ain't got no use for you. I want to say it. Why can't I say it? I'm a white man in a white man's land. I shouldn't have to pay nobody to be my mouthpiece. I'm tired of you, darkest. Get out. All of you. That's where they're going. They just don't understand. Look, I'm being facetious, but tell me if that's not where they're going. So you need to understand something. All jokes aside, the lower their numbers get, the more behavior you're going to see. Why do you think you see a Shallow Hendrix hopping out, calling little black children the N-word? Look at their behavior. The Daniel Pennies, thread these needles. See, you have to learn how to read the context of the hour, the history that you in, and don't shy away from it in fear. Accept it for what it is, and you adapt accordingly. See, what I just said, that's what the foundational Black American and the on-code non-FBA men are doing. We're like, okay, I see it for what it is. I'm not going to wish it was different. I'm not trying to plead with you to do anything. I'm going to be prepared to protect my family and my community. I'm not finna pray about nothing. I'm not going to come out here pleading to a devil that don't have no soul to plead to. No. You stand ready to deal with whatever you need to deal with. That's the way men are looking at this out of our history that we in. We're not afraid of anything. We're not cowering. No, we're prepared. Oh, that's what we're doing. We're making sure those under our charge and our care are prepared too. Okay? Now, the tether class, you're going to have to learn the hard way, and white mommy and white daddy going to show you. You think that you can kiss white ass and be a pet and get your way out of this. Well, they're going to show you far better than I can tell you. I promise you that. They're going to show you far better than I can tell you. Don't listen to nothing GBS say. Oh, no. You get down to somebody, look, and it's going to start happening all across the country because you got to understand. When they take a Shallow Hendrix and make her into a de facto national hero, the Daniel Pennies, etc., what you have now, and this is why I know y'all gonna think I'm crazy. This is why I like that we have Elon Musk cozying up to Donald Trump, because he's an Afrikaner. That is racism and anti-blackness and white supremacy on steroids, because I gotta call it what it is. He's an apartheid baby. He's used to seeing his folks just smash down on black people. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying it wasn't no resistance over there, but it wasn't like our ancestors fought back over here. Just got to call it what it is. Winnie Mandela was an outlier. Shout out to that sister, man. Now, look, I'm going to tell you something. You got you a woman that's willing to ride like Winnie was after her husband, Nelson Mandela, got locked up. She didn't just talk and go give speeches. That sister said, okay, praise the Lord, pass the ammunition. We finna take it to these motherfuckers. Damn it, you got to respect that. Well respected sister in history, even though she's not FBI. I respect the writers in any culture's history. So now you got to understand that Elon, he's over here, he's encouraging white folks, because see, you got to understand how the Elon Musk, and look, this kind of goes where Myron Gaines tries to go. He thinks he's the mouthpiece for white people. I'll say what you're afraid to say. With Elon and Myron, they're like, hey, white people, you should be able to say this XYZ. Come on ahead and do this. And see, here's the problem, Myron and Elon. The reason why the greater majority of the Alabaster community that does agree with your anti-black sentiment, both white supremacists, Africana, and Tether, okay, Sudanese Tether, the reason why they don't do that, let me tell you something. You can talk that fantasy talk all you want. When you check my people's history, we have a certified track record of whooping ass. You better go back in recent history and just look at what Holy Week was when they killed our good brother, Dr. Martin Luther King. We lit this bitch on fire from one end to the other. We built it. We got the right to tear this motherfucker up too if you're not going to have equal justice under the law for us. And that's just where we at with it. Like the Tethers, well, all the motherfucker got to do is come over there, 2 or 3 of them, and they get some sticks together and say boo, and you cowering down. And I mean, we done seen the video just whooping ass. Let me tell you something, man. Because I ain't done. We're going to define this Tether thing. Y'all bear with me. I got to do this. If I was a man and I wasn't FBA and I came from any nation, Caribbean, African nation, whatever, you got these foreigners that come to the land of my forefathers and, you know, ancestors and everything. We got history here. And you come in here, man, I don't care, you know, if I'm working on a job or whatever, and I see you beating on my people. And then, okay, let's just say you're a nonviolent person, all right? Because I want to show you how shameful this is. Say you're a nonviolent person. You do still have the right to defend yourself. So now if I see you whooping down on my people, bro, sticks, kicking them, beating them, spitting on them, and it's a group of us men and don't nobody take off on your ass, I got to get you. Because at the end of the day, I can't let you walk out of that situation. And then when the tale is told about what happened, none of the men did anything about that. And I got to walk past the people in my family, the children, the women. That basically, I've labeled myself a bitch at this point. I'm just telling you what I'm cut from. I can't speak for nobody in my chat room. I damn sure can't speak for the Tether class. My blood won't let me do that. Nah, brother. Nah, man. I got to be the one that I got to get you, bro. The rest of them might be scared of you, but somebody got to represent for the men of our community. Shit, you ain't finna be, look, 20 of us in here and it's one of you and you just whooping down on everybody. Man, it's a video. If you're over on my Patreon, you saw it. Y'all know what I'm talking about for my patrons over there. Man, little Chinese dudes ain't big or nothing. Got a switch, just whipping their ass like they children. And then, y'all remember on this channel, on one of the broadcasts, I showed you where, and unfortunately, I hate to say this because there's parts, I ain't gonna say all, there's parts of South Africa where them white folks can go over there and just do whatever the fuck they want. That's why all that white genocide crap about South Africa, that's a bunch of bullshit. Many of us that have been over there have told y'all about that. Okay? And look, for them so-called boys that come over here, the little 50 handful of them, whatever, they gonna learn real quick about us. Oh, wait till you meet my lineage. You try that shit that you try with South Africans over there, the black ones, please try that over here. Or you gonna be on the first, you gonna tell Donald Trump, it's not working, mate. It's not working. You gonna take your little African ass right back where you came from, because you ain't gonna get that off over here. Y'all better put them in the whitest states you can, because boy, I'm telling you, they got one time to try me on the soil of my damn ancestors. Get your boy, that's gonna be a good time. I promise you that. But see, when you have those of them, they outnumber these people, man, 20-1. Then you just let them whoop up on you and everything, man, and y'all just let them continue to be comfortable. Hell, and I got to name names. You go to parts of Kenya and some other countries, the East Indians or sometimes the white folks are set up businesses and tell you the majority number in the country where you can't come. See, at that point, if you a man, and again, I put the onus primarily on the men. Yes, the sisters too, but the men supposed to take the lead and say, hey, whoa, this shit ain't gonna fly right here. This dog ain't gonna hunt. You got to start with your politicians, which is why selling out for the Tether class is such a problem in their homeland. What politician or government official allowed them to set up a business and have a policy to tell you on your homeland where you can't go? Really? So we just gonna let that shit slide, huh? Man, look here, bro. So my point is this, for you Tethers that come over here and puff your chest out and you got all the smoke for us, I'm like, hey, boy, You wouldn't even fight for your home. What make you think that you gonna stand a chance pissing one of us off if it have to go there? And we ain't running from nowhere. Boy, we be out here fighting these motherfuckers, man, when they have full-on M routes and tanks and everything. You better check the pedigree of the people you fucking with. See, I'm not Mr. Polite when it comes to that disrespectful shit. And in case anybody like, man, you going hard tonight, why you saying all that? Tell you what, I'm finna play something else for you without interruption. I want y'all to listen to this.
Killing me like I'm a American. I'm Jamaican. Don't kill me here. Go kill a black American. I'm American. Don't kill me here.
No one's gonna get hurt. You're good.
Okay.
Black Africans and African Americans do not claim Black Americans. We are not the same. African tends to focus on progress, family values, and community upliftment rather than dwelling on historical grievances. They prioritize education and hard work. They don't live life blaming the white man for all their failures, challenges, or the choices that they make. Many Africans strive to give their children better opportunities and instill values like hard work and responsibilities. They don't raise their kids to hate the white man and blame them for all of their problems. That's why they can't grow. Africans are hard workers and they work on self-improvement. They hold themselves accountable for their actions instead of making everything about race and blaming the system. True Africans do not celebrate when a white kid loses his life to a black kid. The decent Black Americans out there, we claim you, we see you, and we love you. Thank you for being a decent
day right now.
Oh boy, the irony of the statements that little tether ones that y'all seen her made. But see, I had to include her because we're defining what a tether is before we get to the main subject matter here. It is very important. I'm doing it this way for a reason. And yes, my brother Casey Malone, you heard the Jamaican tether say what she said. She said, go kill a Black American instead. Okay? She said, go kill a Black American instead. And again, we're making a distinction between the tether class and those that are not like that, okay? So now I'm gonna say again, this is not a channel that lump everybody into the same boat, because that would be the most ignorant statement in the world to say all continental Africans or Caribbeans act that way. They do not. And for anybody that thinks that, you haven't moved around or traveled, okay? Because see, I've reiterated this several times. I just want to make this clear. The tethers that's over here being disrespectful like that, if you travel, they don't act like that when you come around in their home countries. For the most part, they don't. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, you got a lot of people that don't travel anywhere and they think that the ones over here are represent the entirety of their people. That's ignorant as hell. Start traveling and you'll learn exactly the ones that's over here. A lot of their own people didn't want them over there. That's why they don't go back. See, you got to understand that when a lot of times the tether class, when their parents threaten to send them back home, that's why it's such a punishment to them, because they know them people back home don't fuck with them. They had to bounce because they were doing grimy shit over there. That's the truth of it. But see, the irony of when that tether that I just heard you speak there, okay, talking about, oh, they take responsibility for things. Baby, your men don't take responsibility for their countries being the way they are, because if they did, you wouldn't have to flee over here and be chasing a white man. And see, she was going on because she was talking about the Carmelo Anthony case. For those that didn't catch that clip the previous times I played it. Let me tell you something. She talking about they don't celebrate when a white kid is killed by a black person. What she doesn't understand is, baby, whatever country you from, if it's calamity going on there and their people committed, do you understand that they celebrate all the time? See, we got to tell the truth over here tonight. Before we've delineated here, the greater majority of the time when white folks is over here making them jokes about Africans in their countries and all that stuff, it will be black people, my lineage, foundational Black Americans, which will stand up and defend y'all. That is the truth. Look, where my people at here? I got people, brothers and sisters, listening to me tonight from all different areas of the country. Am I lying about what I just said? Before the era of delineation, which we in now, will we not be the main ones that we heard any racist white folks talking about continental Africans, Caribbean people? We'll be the main one to say, hey, man, nah, you know, they black just like us. Hey, don't say that shit around me. You know what I'm saying? We would check them. Am I lying, family? Come on now. Don't let me be the only one to say it. I mean, like I said, no matter where you from, and you know what? real quick, I want to do something before I let this continue. Everybody, just put what state you're from. You ain't got to put your city if you don't want to. Put what state you're from in my chat room. I want to show somebody, anybody that play this back, I want people to see something. Because I know my audience, but hey, just put what state you from in the chat room. Everybody that's listening to me, put what state you from. I want people to see this. Because like I said, before delineation, we would defend these people, man. We'd be like, hey, man, don't talk about our brothers and sisters like that. Even when they came over here, you know? You know what I'm saying? It's okay. I'm seeing California, South Carolina, all right, Georgia, all right, Maryland, living in Texas, Connecticut. You know what I'm saying? Y'all signed out. Let people know where you from, man. Listen to this broadcast tonight. Because, see, people need to see that when I say something, my chat is interactive. They'll call me out on it if I was making up something. You know what I'm saying? So for the tethers, a lot of them that are new over here, you know what I'm saying? They probably don't realize that, hey, man, we were the main people taking off for you. But see, now it's unfortunately, it's too many disrespectful tethers over here. We be like, hey, man, you got it. You on your own. Let y'all people work that out. Hey, I ain't going to help them do nothing to you, but we got to focus on our own community. Unfortunately, that's what we've come to, at least here in our own soil. And then as far as her, you know, popping all that big shit, talking about what goes on in African nations, I just got to tell the truth. Until Ibrahim Traore in the modern era, that's been the only main head of state, okay, besides our brother Julius Malema, who's not the president of South Africa. He's in the parliament over there, okay, which is their version of Congress in South Africa, you know, similar to, you know what I'm saying, or the Senate. But, you know what I'm saying, until Ibrahim Traore in the modern era, you can't really say and point to nobody over there to say, you know what, fuck this shit. You're not going to be in my country, exploiting my resources for under market value. You're not going to be over here running wild, doing God knows what to our women and just exploiting us on the world stage. Nah, finna change that. That's why I say, man, God protect that brother, man. God bless him. And any of you tethers that's talking all that hard working shit, go to show that you such punks and cowards, because I wouldn't expect it of you. But if you really did have any substance to you as far as the men, you would be going over there to assist that brother or be trying to see if he need help with, because he need all the help he can get. He does. He needs all the help he can get from a loyal standpoint, from every skill set imaginable that will help run that nation. He need it because he's trying to get himself in an economically strong position, you know what I'm saying, at home. Now, yes, I see he dealing with the Russians and some with the Chinese, but, you know, the brother's in a difficult spot. He's trying to make sure that if France decide to go to war, he can properly defend his country against them. Now, personally, he gonna do what he see fit, but I wish he would make more economic and military alliances with other African nations, because he has, you know, Mali, Niger, and other nations. I think Malawi, okay, but I would love to see him link up with Julius Malema and many other African nations where the leaders are not puppet leaders and get that solidified. And the reason why I would say that, I would like to see him do that, just knowing what I know about how military operations work. I would like to see him do that, so just in case Russia decide to try to pull a double cross, or China, he can be like, all right, bitch, we can do this on even footing. You understand? That way you have people that, even though they're not your countrymen, they're still Africans. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would like to see. I would like to see touch one of us anywhere, fight us all everywhere. But hey, you know, time will tell. But I just know I support that brother, and many of us do. You know what I'm saying? We just focusing on what we got to do here at home, but we definitely support what that brother's doing. It should have been done a long time ago, and I hope other nations follow suit. But we're going to continue identifying what we mean when we say tether here, because, see, by the end of tonight, it ain't going to be no doubt. Salute to my good brother, Black Voltron in the building, man. Hey, yeah, I got to get with you, brother, on an upcoming X-Space topic that we might have to break down, man. Yeah, I'm going to have to definitely hit you up. Probably, you know what I'm saying? If not tonight after this broadcast, definitely tomorrow, whenever we can catch up. But family, we're going to continue defining this tether thing because, see, I want you to notice this tactic, okay? Now, for what I'm about to play, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what to look for, and then you tell me whether you agree or disagree. Because one of the reasons that made me start my platform over the years is I got tired of seeing certain things that our people were being taken advantage of because you didn't have proper information, okay? Because you can't defend against a threat unless you know what the threat is, all right? So I try to point out certain things that I know I recognize that the average black person would not recognize if they hadn't been taught about certain things, because we all had to have a starting point. We all had to learn about things we didn't know things about. What I'm about to show you here is an example of a anti-black tether and a white supremacist. It's the good cop, bad cop tactic. That's all I'm going to tell you so far. I'm going to let it play, and then after it ends, I'm going to see if you all agree with what I'm saying. I'm going to give you the exact reason why I told you that. So let this play.
Now, Planned Parenthood actually helps the Black community just in regards to helping us not be overpopulated, right? The Black community is overpopulated, it is.
There have been 20 million Black children aborted since 1973. Do you think that's a good or bad thing?
So the Black community is still overpopulated because of our government. It is. Gang relations.
The Black community
Stop talking so I
is
can finish.
below
Stop talking so I can
replacement
finish.
rate.
Stop talking so I can finish.
You just said that there are too many Black people. How can you say that?
So I didn't say that.
That Planned Parenthood's helping you because the Black population is too overpopulated.
Is that what I said?
That is eugenic
Back.
statement, ma'am.
Is that what you believe I said?
No, did you
Is that what I
say
said?
the Black population is too overpopulated?
The Black community is overpopulated. Yes, it is.
Statistically,
like your narrative
African Americans are below replacement rates. There are more abortions happening than live births.
Oh, let's deal with that propaganda right there. Oh, family, that was such a mind fuck that you just saw. And see, you need to make sure you're teaching Black children about this. First and foremost, let me take this chance to recommend a book that I say should be on every Black household shelf. You need to get that book called How to Lie with Statistics, okay? You need to get that book. I am telling you now, you don't get any other book recommendation that I said, get the book How to Lie with Statistics. And you need to read that cover to cover so you have a proper understanding of how white supremacists and the tethers they train, like that flunky who's probably associated with PragerU by the way she sounds, how they train them to go out here and spew that propaganda. Let's go ahead and just break this bullshit down. What you saw was an anti-Black tether spouting abortion rhetoric. Now, yes, abortion. We've had issues with that in our community, but let me tell you something right now, and don't take my word for it. You can look for yourself. Foundational Black American numbers are nowhere close to below replacement level. You better understand the technique that I taught you the white supremacists try to use, and they teach the tethers to do this. Whenever the white supremacists have a problem, they try to make it everybody's problem. No, the only group in this country that's below replacement level getting there is the white supremacists. Black folks' numbers are not struggling like that. We don't have no problem having babies. See, let me show you something else about this logic right here, because see, sometimes a lot of people will get upset and they don't combat nonsense with actual common sense and actual facts. You can't, on the one hand, for decades and decades on end, say we 13% of the population every year, year after year. First of all, that's mathematically impossible. A population either goes up or down. It doesn't stay specifically one number. In order for that to happen, for the people that understand why that's a lie, that means that for the exact number of people, babies that are born, that exact number must die. The exact number on the head, that's the only way a population will stay any percentage for decades on end. So stop buying that bullshit about we 13% of the population. Moreover, you cannot have it both ways and say that we have the highest teen pregnancy rates and we below replacement and we getting the most abortions. And see, let me deal with this abortion thing. It is not something that I co-sign unless for the three reasonable exceptions. Somebody forced themselves on a woman, life-threatening pregnancy, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature, something exceptional, all right? Or incest. Those are the only three that I support that. All right. Other than that, if it's two responsible people that knew what they were doing, nah, I don't support you taking a life. That's just my personal stance for those that don't know it. Now, when it comes to this abortion issue, here's the thing that they really don't want to talk about. For all the women in our community that have gotten them, thanks to Margaret Sanger and Planned Parenthood and the church actually going on with promoting that, what they don't tell you about Becky is they don't count all the abortions that she get because Becky will have them without going to Planned Parenthood. Where my brothers that done went to college at? Oh, see, I'm finna cut deep on this tonight. We finna stop the bullshit. Them bitches be in college, get pregnant all the time, trains ran on, don't know who they done fuck from one day to the next. Will be pissed drunk, drinking to kill fetuses, all kind of shit, man. See, they don't talk about the off-the-record numbers of all the babies that Becky done killed in the community. Why you think now that they finally came out and started banning these abortions like they did and started like on the state levels and stuff? Why you think they're trying to get a permanent ban? Because see, I'm going to make it make sense. You don't do that unless you know your numbers are below replacement. See, I have to give our sisters credit that do keep their babies, even in difficult situations. Everybody's situation different. But the reason why they're banning that is because, hey, it was designed to mostly harm us. But see, there comes a point in time, if you're waging a war, I want y'all to follow me on this, especially young black people, because warfare is something I know something about intimately. There's different types of warfare. When you wage in warfare on the people, at this point, it will be psychological to make them think that, oh, you have to get rid of your babies and you going by Margaret Sanger's doctrine. If you want to win a war, the thing about it, anybody that's in command of either side of the forces, you have to be honest about what's going on that battlefield. And the white supremacists got together, their scientists and, you know, the people in their communities that make these decisions, the politicians in both parties, they say, look, I know we designed this shit to kill these niggas, but this shit ain't working. It's too many of our women doing it. We got to do something about that. You understand? Does everybody follow me on what I just said? Because I'm going to get to the second part of breaking down that clip that I want everybody to catch. You have to be honest if you're in war about what's going on the battlefield, whether it's actual war or it's a psychological war, trade war, whichever type of warfare you wage in, political warfare, okay, because politics is war without bloodshed. But in this aspect right here, they had to sit down and be like, hey, man, look, I know we love to lie, but this involves our survival. And we know that more of our women are getting these abortions than these Negroes, okay? We got to do something. See, if it was just us and they women was like, hey, man, going to the abortion Planned Parenthood, oh, we just don't do that over here. Oh, that's despicable. If none of they women did that, outside of them 3 exceptions, they wouldn't have no problem. Oh, man, Bill Moore, they would have Planned Parenthoods, man. You wouldn't be able to go 5 blocks without. They have them all over the place. But now they're like, hey, man, we need to get rid of this. Like, this ain't working, man. Because, like, what happens is they put them on the black side of town. But Becky, you know, oh, boy, the white boys ain't going to like this. But, you know, I really don't care about alabaster feelings on my channel. What happens is Becky gets a taste of wanting some soul pole. And, you know, she goes and, you know, hops on Tyrone, and Tyrone's on the football team. And Tyrone like, man, I'm not claiming this bitch. And Tyrone like, hey, it ain't no fun unless the homies can have something. Next thing you know, it's a train that got ran. Becky, you know what I'm saying, and got some of that black man baby juice. You know the stuff that Shannon show upside pizza talking about, all that crazy stuff. She done got some of that showed up in there, you know. Hey, little half black babies over there. So Becky's like, hey, my father's gonna disown me. Oh, I can't let them find out. And she's gonna run her ass over to the black side of town. Go ahead and take care of that. If she don't go ahead and just start drinking and try to kill it herself, because they will do that. They did it all throughout college. With my brothers that went to college, y'all know how. Becky, look, let me tell y'all something, man. We got issues and problems with our women, but I don't give a fuck what nobody say. A lot of people don't like when I say this. And our women can't catch up to Becky, dog. They can't. They can't. As far as deception, just foul shit they do, they can't. You couldn't if you tried, because, like, look, even the most grimy, low down, dirty hood rat in our community got some type of compassion left to her. She might not be smart as a box of rocks, goddamn it, but they got some type of compassion to them where they're like, okay, that's a bridge too far. I can't do that. I will say that now. I just got to tell the truth. Y'all know I'm hard on the hood rats, man. But for compared to Becky, let me tell you something. Becky don't give a fuck. Becky like, fuck them kids. And look, here's the real reason why they got rid of they trying to tighten down on that abortion. Not only are their numbers finna be below replacement, because look, that's inevitable. They can't stop it at this point. It ain't up to me. The white women, because I've told you for the longest that an alabastress is the most destructive woman on the planet. The white women are like, hey, man, look, you won't let us have an equal share of this system of white supremacy? All right, hey, ain't gonna be no more white babies born. Fuck it. But that's the end of our people. Well, fuck it. We just got to go. That's what Becky's on. Look, boy, I could go somewhere and I'm going to restrain myself. But if let me tell you what the white man's biggest fear is. Can I go there briefly before we get back on main subject matter tonight, family? Can I do it? Or is it a bridge too far already? Because I'm going to give you an example of what white men fear right now. And I'm laughing my ass off. Can I give y'all an example of what the white men fear their women becoming? Because she's a prototype that strikes fear into all these white men's heart. This is their worst nightmare. Can I do it real quick? You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all let me know, because now, hey, I will reel it back because I get it. I can be off the hook over here at times. Hey, look, it's after 10:30 over here on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? But, y'all say go ahead. All right, let me tell y'all what the white man feel right now. Mark this down in your book, and all of y'all finna laugh y'all ass off. And you know it's allowed in my chat room because we clown over here. The white man fears every one of his women pulling a Bobby Althoff. I'm going to say it again. The white man in America right now, I just made all the male white supremacists mad. They gonna hate this broadcast. You know it's true though, white boy, listen. I know, I see you. I know you might not be chopping in the chat, but I know you know I'm telling the truth. The white male in America right now fears their wives and girlfriends becoming a Bobby Althoff. Married, got kids with them, but fuck around and get a taste of some soul pop, like, fuck them kids. Fuck you and the kids. I'm gone. I'm going over here. I got to toot my ass up in the air for this Negro dick, okay? That's what they feel. I'm telling you, y'all think I'm bullshitting. If you don't know who Bobby Althoff is, look up her situation. If you know, you know, huh? Oh, Bobby said, man, hey, look, because if you look at Bobby and see, look, I'm going to prove what I'm saying. I might do that over on Patreon on a future broadcast, because boy, it's going to be alabaster tears about that. Let me tell you something. I got proof of that bitch, boy. She cold-blooded. If you look at her, you might think, oh, look at this dainty, demure white woman. Oh, she, you Bucks of Bennington. You love them alabasters. And boy, her real demeanor and personality, I got some shit, man, that few people have seen out of her own mouth. I didn't edit this or nothing. I might have to show that on Patreon. But boy, they that strike fear in their heart, boy. And you just sit here and marry this heifer, and then, cause see, you got to understand something, man. Alabasters will be sitting there faking the funk with their husbands and all of that, and going through that so-called little mom routine, and he think he got shit on lock. Man, she fucking around, sneaking, looking at these NFL games, basketball games, listening to these rappers, and having all these little old big black mandingo fantasies in their head. See, this is why they stay focusing on black men like they do, man. Look, let me tell you white boys something, man. Brothers like me, we don't want your funky riding women, man. I don't, because they pale imitations of black women of any type, FBA or non-FBA. I don't have no use for their ass, and I know I can't trust them because they cost my people their lives. But you white boys gonna have to deal with something, man. If your bitches want us, that's not our problem. Because if you a sensible brother like me, you be like, hey, man, no, get back over to the bread. Because the only thing a white bitch is good for to me is destroying shit. And you can't destroy what I work hard to build. Hell no. I got more sense than that. Now, I know some of you Bucks of Bennington, you got to be like RG3. You want your tall glass of milk. Congratulations. When you end up on Becky's bad side and she turn on your ass and try to turn you into Christian open cellar, don't run to the black people, okay? But I'm going to leave that alone, because, see, I could prove that about Bobby Althoff. I'm going to show y'all on Patreon. I'll show you over there. Because, boy... That's some cold-blooded shit, though, boy. That bitch off the chain, boy. She said, fuck her kids and her husband. And with a different nigga every time you look up. But, boy, you know they mad as hell, but that's their worst fear. Anyway, we going to get into discussing the main subject matter, though. Now that we've gotten what a tether clarified is out the way. And see, the other half of that clip that I showed you before I went into my Bobby Althoff screed there, the white chick was on code with the alabasters because she quoted that false shit about our population numbers being below replacement. See, that's that. They got the new strategy now. You always have to study their new tactics. They'll get a tether, they'll argue in public, and then and the cameras go out, both of them on the same page. It's orchestrated together. Political theater in public discourse, okay? Understand that when you see it, all right? But now, family, I want y'all to check this out. We're finna get into this medical issue here. And now that I've shown you the example of what a tether is, I want y'all to tell me if you want those types of individuals that I gave examples of in these hospitals taking care of you or your elders and loved ones. I want y'all to check this out. We're going to be stopping this story where need be.
A black nurse gets fired for exposing the abusive outburst of a doctor. Here it is.
You on call right now? You don't even know that. You are the doctor on call. Does the nurse on 3 just call me and say, nurse on 3 and you get help I need? Breakdown of communication. Why are you screaming at me? Because you guys do not care. Dr. Sadiq, there's a patient that needs to be assessed. Would you shut up? Are you not Dr. Sanjay Gupta? I have enough of this. Dr. Sadiq, I have a patient. Would you just shut up? Why are you telling me to shut up and
because
scream at me? I'm not your child.
Don't you have any sense?
I did not make a decision to admit him. Do you not understand English? I came in at 11 at
Shut up, man. Listen English.
No, you don't understand English because you're young.
Sister, you hear that heavy continental African accent, okay? Look, I've heard several sisters complain about this and talk about how the tether nurses, a lot of them have fake credentials and everything. I'm gonna tell you, man, that's the next thing the orange man need to go to crack down on, because you know if they ever do it, they're gonna start with all the black ones, okay? But that's dangerous, man. You got these people that have these anti-black American sentiments in these hospitals and these care facilities and in political office. And you listen to this dude, he just going off, man. Don't let it continue.
So patient was already admitted. Yes. That patient was already ours.
Disagreements will happen, especially if you're in a position where people need help, life or death hangs in the balance. This doctor proceeded to call this nurse a dumb B word and said he owned the hospital. He does not. Here's more.
Was sent to the hospital.
Shut up, dumb bitch.
No, you shut up. Don't talk to me like that. I'm not your child. You should quit if you don't want to do your job. So are you telling me you're not going to come and assess this patient? So I can let the director know. No, there's no you guys nothing. Your job is to assess the patient. So go assess the patient.
Who gave you your job?
You don't own this hospital.
Let me pause it right here, because see, I know my audience over here, and I know that there's a lot of different respectable married brothers over here that's probably about to lose it. And I'm not married, but I do understand. I think I speak for all brothers, whether you married or not. If you have a wife, especially a wife, but long-term committed relationship with a woman, let me talk to you, man. And I'm going to say what I would do, and you brothers let me know if you agree or disagree with this. For me, I had a woman working in the nursing profession, and she informed me that this was going on. First and foremost, one of the things I do with any woman that I deal with, I let her know that it is not your place to be arguing back and forth with no man. I don't want you doing that, because the motherfucker put his hands on you. You are an extension of me, and I'm going to put my hands on him. That's just plain and cut and dry. But most husbands, if their wife would come on and tell them about that, they'll be like, oh, no, that's your last day there. Because see, now you keep going back there and they got that going on, I'm going to have to fuck somebody up, okay? And I mean, hey, we can do it legally too, but that disrespecting somebody's wife, because see, that's that. Let me tell you where that's coming from, in case there's any younger people in here that really don't understand why this tether, and I'm calling him what he is, this anti-black American tether is talking to that sister that way. What they don't like to talk about when they run their asses over here, a lot of these countries that they come from treat women like absolute shit, okay? Do you hear me? They treat their women very badly. They go upside their head, and look, if the woman go call herself in to go tell somebody, in a lot of these countries, they be like, who you gonna go tell? They're gonna look at the woman and be like, well, what did you do to make him hit you? I'm telling you the truth. Y'all know I am. Huh? So this is where that attitude come from when that's in their culture. Yeah, we going here. See, this is where culture means a lot when it comes into interacting with different people in different professions. So now it's okay for him to talk to women like that in his culture. That's how they get down. So now for me, my old lady call and tell me something like that, man. I'm like, oh, no. You can't go back there. I'm glad that you recorded that or whatever. But see, now, if you go back there, or if you fuck around and get bold enough to put his hands on you now, yeah, I'm going to make the news real quick. I know, hey, brothers, am I right or wrong? If your old lady came home and told you that this was going on and she played that for you, come on now. Most of y'all be like, man, hold on. Let me go out real quick. What you about to do? Nothing. I'm just going to go take a stroll. I'm trying to go find your ass so I can have a conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? I know most of you brothers in here, if this was your old lady, wouldn't you be like, hey, man, nah, bruh. Like, you can't go back there. You know, and Casey Malone, like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, you might just be joining us. They gonna mess with this channel, brother. You have to refresh all the time. That's why I make it clear that all new subscribers over here, anybody, if they wasn't messing with this channel, I wouldn't be doing my job, okay? So just hit refresh, my brother. Make sure you slide the bar to the right so you're current. They gonna do what they do. We gonna do what we do. But most brothers in here, would you not have your old lady be like, hey, look, And see, sisters, I know, I got to go here. I know a lot of sisters are like, oh, these men this, these men that. Ladies, that's the advantage of having a dude, especially when it's got his shit together where you working is optional. You know what I'm saying? Because see, most husbands, before we let our women, you know what I'm saying, go back to these jobs like that, for those that are husbands, man, we be like, nah, you ain't finna be going there and have no motherfucker disrespect you like that. Hey, fuck that job. You tell them motherfucker, that's your last day. Hey, the only thing we going back down to get your check, fight the business. I'm coming with you when you go get your check if they don't send it to you direct deposit. Like, yeah, let me, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm just letting y'all know, ladies, man, you know, and I know that's easier said than done because, see, my concern is I'm not saying that you don't speak up. I'm not saying that you don't have a right to. What I'm saying is we don't want these hateful motherfuckers putting their hands on you. Cause see, look, you know, I may just have to do that broadcast to kind of, cause I've done it over the years. Y'all can find different broadcasts on my main channel here, but I might need to bring that back up, but how that's normalized where they put their hands on their women, huh? And it's cause see, look, let me tell you what the argument they try to make over here too. Cause I'm not saying there ain't no LBA men to do that. Don't get me wrong, okay? So I hope none of these obtuse people like, we got women, men, and all our culture do it. I didn't say we didn't. But for the most part, that's frowned upon. Most foundational Black American freedmen men, if you come around us and we know that you beat on women or you beat on your man, we don't keep coming with niggas like that. Not no straight laced dude, we don't. That's an outlier. That's some of that underground shit. You can't just be openly whipping on your woman ass, then we just kick it with you like that. Most of us don't do that. Especially from the South down here. We don't play that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because first thing we think about is our female family members. I was always taught, if you don't get along with a woman or whatever, you send her back to her family just like, we want you to come back to us in good health. Get to putting your hands on people and all that. Nah, man. But see, I might need to do that broadcast where I show you how a lot of them come from countries where that's normalized and it's accepted. And they argument they try to make is that we soft because we don't do that. No, I just recognize the counterparts of our community as human beings just like me. See, for me, being a man, being given the God-given strength that most of us have, you have your health with you, I don't seek to abuse those that are weaker than myself. I don't have no, because one, that you know, I'm out of line with the Most High if I'm doing that. And then number two, you know, I don't get off on inflicting pain on somebody, you know what I'm saying, because, you know, hey, just because I'm able to. That's just, nah, man. Most brothers down in the South were raised better than that. You know what I'm saying? If you came from a decent family, that is. So, and the other reason I'll add too, especially down here in the South, the other reason it will behoove you not to be one of these bastards that put your hands on these women. Then for you LBA tellers that decide to put your hands on some of these women, if they don't have a man, let me tell you something, most of us down here toting that iron now. Hey, you gonna find out the hard way. Is she gonna, hey, let me tell you something about our women down here. They've always been givers. They'll let your ass have it. You understand? It might not be Christmas, but you will get a present. You fuck around and put your hands on one of these sisters down here that toting that iron, brother. I'm gonna tell you right now, you gonna learn the hard ways. You're like, oh yeah? All right, hold up. Yeah, you just hit me, didn't you? All right. You better move when she come back. All right. That's all I'm gonna tell you. All right. Don't make no habit of it. Hey, look, some sisters carry, you know, Second Amendment deterrents of different sizes. But I will tell you this, most women down here that were taught to shoot at an early age, they are very proficient shots. And they don't have to have gone to the military either. I'm telling you now. Don't believe me though, Tethers, because you know you come from these places where you like to put your hands on women. You'll find out, you know what I'm saying? You gonna fuck around, boy. Gonna be some slow slinging flower bringing, man. But see, for the most part, we like to try to have our women avoid that. So this little hateful motherfucker here, I'm gonna tell you something. He was so bold talking to that sister like that, because when you hear them saying that like that and they just all out loud with it in a place where they know it's liable cameras, people gonna see it, that's not his first time doing that. Now, why am I saying that? Who you think hired that motherfucker? So you better understand how the white supremacists will use, like I said earlier in the broadcast, how they will use these anti-black tethers. You think, I'm telling you, you can't tell me that white folks that hired him didn't know that about him. Because they're like, okay, we can use you. Respect you? No. Use you? Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna make sure my people are up to speed on this. Let's let it continue.
Hospital, it's not your decision. Hospital. It's not your decision. I own the hospital. No, you don't own this hospital. Because if you owned anything, you wouldn't be talking to someone the way you're talking to them.
Sounds delusional, right? Put it up full mask. We have an interesting story, a saga. A black nurse is fired after exposing a doctor's abusive outburst. Her contract, the black nurse's contract was terminated after exposing the doctor's disturbing outburst in a viral video. Jessica Wingard posted the video to TikTok of a heated exchange between her and a doctor in which the doctor is heard screaming at her, telling her, quote, shut up, and calling her dumb B word, okay? Atlanta Black Star spoke with the nurse who said the incident happened on April 27th at the Bryland Hospital in Buffalo, New York, where she was hired through a third-party agency to work as an overnight RN supervisor. Her contract position began 4 months ago, and that's when she started working with Dr. Siddiqui, the physician heard in the recording allegedly. Now, Miss Wingard, the nurse, said that during her short stint with the hospital, she suffered the doctor's fiery temper on previous occasions. This most recent exchange reached a boiling point when he started yelling at her after she asked him to assess a patient whose condition had changed overnight. She said another nurse initially requested this help, but he refused and yelled at her. Then did the same to Nurse Wingard when she tried to follow up with him. Okay, you have a lot of variables here. Number one, unprofessional conduct, obviously. Under no circumstance should a medical professional speak that way to anybody on staff. They don't work under you. They're not your subordinates. You all are colleagues. And let's be honest, there is no medical doctor on this planet that can do their job without having a Nurse Wingard.
My good brother, Dr. Rashard Ritchie, is correct. And I respect this brother's work. He does excellent reporting. Very outstanding brother. But one of the things that I think that he's missing here, the reason why that Tether was talking to that sister like that is because he's a Tether and she's Black American. And he feels some type of way about that. We just got to go there. Because I guarantee you, watch this. Let me ask my chat room. How many of y'all think that he would do that and talk that way to a white woman? Oh, because we know the Tethers don't have none of that smoke for a white daddy, white mommy. They don't at all. They don't even talk that way to white adjacent people. Anything with fair skin, they on their P's and Q's. They know damn well not to talk that way. Come on now. That's the part that my good brother, Dr. Rashard Ritchie, is missing here. And I commend him for covering this story. But when I saw it, I like, no, we got to go ahead and say what it is. Because, see, let me tell y'all something, man. I'm not accusing Dr. Rashard Ritchie of this, but we are in an hour of our history now for our lineage where we can't afford to call things by anything than other what they are. Same thing I tell y'all about racism and white supremacy. When the white supremacists start talking about, oh, that's stupid, oh, he's ignorant. No. White supremacy is white supremacy. Don't ever shy away from calling it that. One is their word, but that's what they're practicing. With this Tether, this is anti-Black American hatred, and it needs to be called out for what it is, okay? That's the thing here. So, again, like I say, respect to my brother with his reporting. Does excellent work, but that's the part that needs to be highlighted, the why of why he did that. That's what we got to get to is. Let it continue.
Here's what's interesting. You can actually have less medical doctors in a medical facility, but you cannot operate that medical facility with no nurses. So let's be very clear about the power and strength and the necessity of nurses. The nurses being a patient advocate, telling the doctor, relaying vital information to the doctor according to this narrative, and the doctor decides to go off. But this is more than going off. This is abusive, in my opinion. And yes, a lot of third-party contractors contract nurses, various hospitals around the world. This is something that's quite normal. Now, here's the other part. They're not technically employees. They're not technically employees, so they don't typically have the same protections as an employee or as the medical doctor, okay? There's more. After posting the recording on TikTok, where it garnered widespread attention, she heard from her agency directors who notified her that her contract with the hospital would be terminated for violating the agency's social media protocols. The agency still employs Wingard and says she has already received more contract offers to work at other facilities.
Now, let me pause it right here. Now, see, this is what I have a problem with when it comes to this type of bureaucracy right here. Damn a social media policy. You got this hateful ass tether around people's loved ones with medical conditions, probably delivering babies. Hey, man, fuck a social media contract. Get his ass out the paint, man. No. Now, I'm glad the sister has gotten more contracts or what have you, but the problem still stands. No. See, this is where we need, and I have to say it because I know I'm not the only one saying it, this is what we need, our competent black legal class, and we don't have it. We just got to say what it is. We don't have it. We need our version of an Ed Bloom going after people like this, man. Like, no, man, don't terminate the sister. To be honest with you, her contract shouldn't have been terminated. Get his ass out the paint. That's what should happen if we're talking about justice and what the law should be, huh? But see, we don't have lawyers that's willing to go after this. So all these people flexing these law degrees, man, get where it count. Put that law degree to work. Look, I've said this for years. No matter what area of Black America you look at, it's work to be done. Does everybody have the same skill set? No, but for the people that I don't know what to do, man, you ain't trying. You ain't looking. There's plenty of work need to be done in every area of our society. And this is one of the most important, because whether you go into a hospital to be treated for an illness, or definitely if you bringing new life into the world, you can't have no bastards like him working there. So that's what the issue I have with that is, you going to terminate her and then reprimand her about violating a social media policy. Okay, cool. What you going to do about this hateful ass tether doctor? That's what I want to know. Let it continue.
Okay, so the hospital says, oh, you got to go. But the contracting agency has retained the services of Ms. Wingard. Ms. Wingard said that to her knowledge, the doctor is still employed by the hospital, but her negative interaction with the physician is just one of several he has had with other staff members. This is called exposure, basically a whistleblower gone viral. I guarantee you this. You've helped a lot of people, madam. The other part of this story that's not highlighted as much as it should be, in addition to the professional misconduct, in my opinion, is also the fact that I wouldn't want that doctor having to be in charge of my medical health after these outbursts. I wouldn't want my loved ones to be under his medical directive after these outbursts. He sounds to me completely delusional.
Oh, he's not delusional, my good brother, Dr. Rashard Ritchie. He's anti-Black American. That's what he is. See, what I would like to see happen, if you get caught on camera, audio, whatever, doing this, oh, you should never be able to practice in the medical field in any capacity ever again, period. Same thing I say for these race soldiers, man. You get caught doing some of the things that they do, oh, that's it for you. You can't even be a security guard at Walmart. Nah, and see, it's got to start being some permanent consequences for these things, man. You know what I'm saying? And see, again, like I said, I'm not trying to, fault my brother here because, hey, look, I understand he's reporting on things from his perspective or what have you, but When it comes to this stuff right here, man, nah, this ain't just delusional. This is dangerous. You hear me? That's somebody's life in danger. And Dr. Rashard Rich understands that because he just said it himself. This is dangerous, okay? And see, in that New York area, man, it's flooded with tethers. We just got to call it what it is, man. A lot of that goes on up there and across the country, too. That's not the only place. You know what I'm saying? And across the country, because, see, you think about this is the medical industry we talking about here tonight. We see what the politicians do. Think about your children in a nursery or a daycare. Little hateful anti-Black American motherfuckers, and then you take them to these nurseries and daycares. So you better... Being a Black parent today, you got to be on it from so many different angles. You understand? You have to be. You cannot be one of these parents, well, I'm going to take them here, everything just cool. No, you got to be following up on things. You got to do your research before you put your kids in certain schools or daycares or what have you. You really got to be on it today. Because this is, unfortunately, this is a problem. And see, you know, you get a lot of tether class. They don't like it when people like myself expose this and we be like, no, when we call you a tether, we saying that for a reason. This ain't just some terminology we use online. You got some people, too, of our lineage that think we supposed to lie to kick it. Hell no. If this is a threat to my people, I'm not going to sit here just because I'm cool with people that are not FBA and not say this because I'm talking about the tether class. That's not the people that I'm cool with. They don't do that. But there are people over here that wear the uniform of our skin, not of our lineage, that feel this way about us. And they're in positions where they could affect our lives. Let it continue.
I just don't believe he's in the right state of mind to be in such an important position over life and death decisions. That's just me. All right, so we appreciate what you've done. Okay, all right, Yas, what thoughts here?
Yeah, this is unacceptable, obviously. I mean, we can all see and understand that. But this doctor is not only, I think you said he was delusional earlier, but he's so immature. You know, people who can't.
I want you to listen to how, because this woman right here, I ain't got I know nothing against her, but she appears to be East Indian or something other than our lineage or what have you. And Dr. Rashard Ritchie used the term delusional. Okay, now there's truth to that. He is delusional, but the main thing he is anti-Black American. Notice here, now I have to take the time to do this because whether it's the white adjacents or the tan, sometimes identified as Caucasian on paper here in this country, like this lady right here, notice she's talking about immaturity. Now, look, when you hear the rhetoric that he's using, I can understand why you would want to say that, but that is not the proper descriptor or the blanket descriptor that you need to use. Oh, he's immature. No, this motherfucker is dangerous. That's what he is. And he should not be working at anybody's medical facility. See, I have a big problem when I hear those like that do that with something. You don't, look, let me tell you something, man. You don't mislabel things. We talking to adults. We ain't talking to children. When something is a threat, you call it what it is. Y'all know I'm heavy on that. I don't play that game because see, when you start using that kind of terminology, you water down the seriousness of something. You need to understand the power that words have on your mind. Anytime your ears take in any audible sounds describing something, so as far as speech, songs you listen to, what have you, that's important. You are conditioning your mind. If you start saying it's anything other than what it is in succession for a long period of time, you lessen the severity of it. I hope y'all really grasp the sense of what I'm telling you. You understand? It's important to call things exactly what they are, not trying to use other terms to water it down. Let's let it continue.
Control their anger or themselves to where they have outbursts like this, they're childish, right? This man's brain is not fully developed. He sounds like a child throwing a temper tantrum, but he's empowered to do this by his elevated status over this nurse that he's talking to. These power imbalances and the ways that they impact working environments are certainly not absent from hospitals, right? These are high stakes working conditions and environments in which people.
See, I'm going to tell you something else, issue that I have with her addressing this. And I want to see if it's just me, because hell, I might be wrong. You all in my audience might disagree. Let me ask the question. Does this not seem almost as if she's talking around the main issue, which is this tether doctor being anti-Black American? Yeah, what do y'all think, family? Is it just me? Because this is how I'm seeing it. I want to know how you all perceive it. Let me know in my chat room. Am I all based with this? Does it not seem like in her addressing something, addressing the issue, she's talking around it? See, let me tell you something. I talked to y'all about this too while I'm waiting on y'all to respond. I talked to y'all about this when the politician Beto O'Rourke was running for president, and how when somebody will address something that you know you've experienced without talking about a solution to the problem, basically talking around the issue. See, you can be moving your mouth and saying words and not addressing the root cause of something. It seems like she kind of tap dancing around. I mean, is it just me, or is she almost addressing it in a borderline tone deaf sense? Exactly, Project Leroy. She's being dismissive, avoiding the issue. See, this is dangerous when it comes to us. But see, I'm finna go here, and I can't accuse this East Indian woman of doing this, but I got to say something with most white adjacent people. If something was done to a white person, be it Austin Metcalf or anybody else, you notice they don't talk around issues then? Yes, I'm going there with it. Do y'all notice that when something happens to a white person, they do not talk around issues at that particular time? Yeah? You know, exactly, Mr. Sam. My good brother, Mr. Sam, said that doctor isn't talking like he's childish. He's talking like he's narcissistic. Exactly. You know, these folks don't talk around the issue when something happens to white people. Oh, they get straight to the point. And not only do they address the specific issue, they demand justice. They talking about what should be done and everything. So see, that's something you have to watch about those like her, man, because they have a bad habit of doing it. I mean, I'm talking about pattern recognition at this point. A lot of her people, they come over here and get to be classified as white, even when they tan like her. They have this affinity for them folks, man, where they'll go to bat for them. But if something happened to black people, you kind of talk to us like we kids. You want to talk around the issue, and nobody ever gets to talking about punishment or justice being produced for our people. So I just wanted to point that out. Let it continue.
People's lives are in danger often. But on top of that, they have their own workplace politics to contend with. Then there's all the bureaucracy in hospitals and clinics that hinder the actual efficiency of the work and often make it, even more stressful, all the situations that they have to deal with than they already are. And that's to say quite stressful, right? But I do agree with you, Doc. This is abusive behavior. I would never let anyone, a man, my boss, whoever, speak to me this way. This is unbelievable behavior from an adult person, right? I don't care that he's a doctor, because I know plenty of doctors. And yes, they did a great job getting through medical school. I'm not trying to take that from anyone, but they're not all people that I would necessarily trust with my health or my well-being, right? We have a tendency in this country to elevate people of certain professions to pedestals because they were able to achieve something that many of us have not been able to achieve. But let me tell you, they're just people who set out on a path. And fortunately for them, they had the resources available to them to allow them to succeed on that path, right? Make no mistake, it takes money in the first place to become a doctor, right? You have to already come from something. You already have to have certain resources available to you to become a doctor. So for a lot of people who are probably just as smart, they don't.
Now, let me pause it right here, because she brought up something I really want to point out. See, a lot of these tethers that come over here, they get all types of resources and scholarships that foundational Black American freedmen can't get. But these are the things we fought for. All kinds of DACA programs, etc., what have you, man. See, this is the part they don't tell you about when they start that I came over here with $2 in my pocket. They say, yeah, you did that because you came over here and you got all types of assistance that we can't get. And you come over here and you will go to medical school or what have you, then this is the things that our community get. You start thinking that you are elevated above us because of what the government allows. And see, this is the thing about right now, white America. Let me talk to you, because don't think I'm letting you off the hook, because all of this goes back to white supremacy. You white supremacists use that as a strategy. You get these hateful tethers over here, you put them in these different types of positions and different types of career paths or what have you, and have them targeting us. But then now that you see that your buddy, the orange man, because see, this is why a lot of people like myself, we don't have a problem with the orange man being in office. He destroying their system right in front of their eye. They crying every day. Oh my God, this, oh, he's doing that. I'm like, yeah, good. Now you get to see. You get to see what it feels like to be Black in America. And then they come running to Black people talking about Black people. Don't you see what they're doing? Hey, man, all I can tell you, man, until we get these reparations in the anti-black hate crime bill, hey, go figure it out. You got the high IQ, remember? Yeah, that's why white people, why we don't really care nothing about what you going through. Because make no mistake, we're going to be just fine. We're going to be just fine. You done threw everything at God's children, my lineage, but the kitchen sink, and it hadn't worked yet. We're going to be just fine. You, on the other hand, well, the universe says not so much. Let's let it continue.
Have the option to go to medical school. So credit to anyone, I give credit to anyone who does their job well and takes pride in their work and also treats their coworkers well and with respect, not just their coworkers, but also their subordinates. So this man gets no respect from me.
That's right. Well said. We will bring updates if there's an update to bring.
And there you have it, family. So I think tonight's broadcast made it unequivocally clear about what we mean when we say tether class and why it is not just a trivial thing as far as somebody arguing back and forth online. When these people are politicians, they're in the medical field, they're daycare workers, etc. Oh no, it is a big deal. It is far beyond online rhetoric for the people that like to play ignorant and play dumb as if they don't understand why we make this an issue, because you have a lot of people that do that in bad faith. But I presented to you tonight here an example of why that is such a major problem. Okay, now we've discussed the problem. The solution. Let's talk solutions. The solution is going to have to be for us to get on code and get serious, not only about our reparations, but we have to start looking at these different districts as far as like, okay, if you have somebody in office and they're in a particular district where they're not, majority black, we got to start looking at that, this gerrymandering, so we can start affecting change on the local level, okay? To make sure that these things are not tolerated, and right down to your local city level, aldermen and everything like that. We got to make sure we don't have no Brandon Johnsons or Eric Adams, etc. up there. In other words, what I am saying to my people, now that we've discussed the problem, we talking solutions. We have to get serious about taking the reins of power and making sure that we have the type of society we're supposed to live in, where our loved ones and our children don't have to worry about running to these hateful tethers or white supremacists. Okay. See, we are not helpless. We can focus on whatever we want to and get things accomplished. I often tell people this. Yes, entertainment has its place, but the place I want to see us get to, because we're getting there. I would like to see us get to the place where we focus on the issues of economics, okay, the issues of protecting our people the same way that we focus on entertainment. Okay, and don't get me wrong, I'm proud of the grassroots out here so far. We are getting to that level, but we could stand to improve on that, okay? Because now you see what's at stake here if we ignore these things, all right? So, family, I want to thank everybody that contributed to the broadcast. I hope everybody got something from this. Like I said, we got a lot of content coming up addressing several different issues over here and on Patreon. Got some issues coming up over there. And be looking out for the other one that I'm going to put together, because it's a safety issue primarily for the sisters in our community. It's going to have information in there about how you can avoid being abducted and all the different types of tactics they'll try to use. So just be on the lookout for that. Y'all gonna know it when you see it, okay? So with that said, family, I want you to remember we're a great and mighty people. We can do anything. We're on code. Protect yourself, protect your family, your community. You do not need anybody's permission to do that. That is your God-given right to exist in peace and to exist in safety. That said, take care of yourselves. Black first, salute, and I will see you all in future content.